using my Nokia 3210 4G for roughly 2 weeks now at work. And some of my coworkers who regularly see me know that I carry a dumb phone. But those who see it for the first time, they all look at it and say, wow, that's such a great idea. To be honest, I really don't like what my smartphone is doing to me. I want to switch to, where can I buy that? It's so cool that they're still making those kinds of phones today. Does it play Snake? And yes, it does. And I said that's really interesting because I went into this challenge mainly for myself and no one else, and knowing that it's going to be a bit of an inconvenience, but I still did it anyway. I made the necessary adjustments that fit around my lifestyle and my needs. And it is inconvenient to carry both phones most of the time because, to be honest, I do still carry my Oppo Find X9, but it just lives inside a purse in my bag, and I only take it out when I need the internet or I need a high-resolution camera. I treat it the way I treat having a digital camera, and it is my digital camera. It's my mini laptop or mini desktop, if you will. It's my checkbook because I do banking on it, and you know how checkbooks are obsolete already, but it's where I transfer money and budget my money by transferring it into the different bank accounts that I've created in my banking app. And it's where I go to watch the online courses that I've purchased, because obviously the browser in my Nokia 3210 is so crappy, it might as well not be there. It's just bloatware at this point. The global version, at least, because I see videos on YouTube where those who have this phone, they're able to watch YouTube shorts on it, and I don't know how they manage to do that because I can't get it to work with my one. The Opera mini browser is next to useless. I can only do a very basic search on it, like find the definition of a word, and it can read relatively simple websites such as Merriam-Webster.com, but nothing too complex, nothing that has a lot of video or audio on it. And then I've had at least 3 people say that they're gonna go and get one. Of course, it's just the first instinct and the dopamine rush from seeing a phone in their early days. It sure was like that when I first saw the reiteration of the Nokia 3210 and 3310. To be honest, I wanted to get the 3310 and not the 3210. But upon further research, I found that the 3310 4G doesn't have all of the necessary band that New Zealand uses in order to have its text and call service nationwide, which is a shame because I honestly like the shape of the 3310 better. But this new 3210 is really good as well. I'm very satisfied with how small and light it is and how easy it is to text fast on it, because I'm a texter. I like texting my to-do lists to myself, and in the absence of a note function on my 3210, I just send messages to myself. I type poems that I compose, ideas that come to my mind when I have downtime and I'm not actively doing anything, because I can't act out on my compulsion to scroll, unlike when I have my phone. And it's not just social media that's the problem for me when I am on my smartphone. It's having access to ChatGPT and DeepSeek and Google, because I just Google whatever. I go on Google and it sends me all of these clickbaity notifications, which I have turned off. But it's still really good at serving me up targeted ads whenever I search for something, and I don't like how the first response is an AI generated summary, and along with that there's always a paid ad. The world is just one big ad at this point. And it's funny how back in the early 2000s we would go on the internet, pay for an hour at the internet cafe to escape from our real world, and now in 2026 we're going to the real world in order to escape the online world. Such is the way things are. Such has been the devolution, not evolution, of technology, where only the few at the top reap the benefits and the rest of the majority is exploited. They're exploiting our attention, our energy, our money, and our privacy. And it really annoyed me, even though I'm not a Samsung phone user anymore, how Samsung has decided to get rid of Samsung Messages, its native texting app, in order to defer to Google Messages. Even if you're a fan of Google Messages, I don't think that we should be all forced to use it. So many people were against the COVID vaccine when it first came out because of the fact that the government made it mandatory and it didn't leave the freedom of choice to the person to decide. But here we are with technology, with Samsung, without any sort of consultation to the public, decides to just scrap its native text messaging app so that everyone who buys a Samsung phone from July 2026 will be forced to use Google Messages for texting whether they like it or not. Someone aptly said, if I wanted to use Google Messages, then I would buy a Google phone. And how many of my friends and acquaintances who own Samsung phone won't be able to text me and I won't be able to text them because Samsung is getting rid of their Samsung Messages app? That's beyond stupid and ridiculous to me, and it's so obvious how they're trying to sell us out to big tech. Anyway, moving on from that, I decided to pull my younger child out of Kumon because I don't like how the instructors have brought my child down 2 levels when they already finished that level ages ago with flying colors, and just because they have a few corrections on level G, they suddenly decide to do that to my child, and my child has been in tears over it. Even though I didn't tell them off and make a big deal out of it, they felt really bad and I felt really sorry for them, and I didn't agree with what Kumon did to my child. So even though I just paid for this month of April, I'm not letting my child do Kumon anymore, and I switched instead to IXL Maths and English, where it's just $24 for both my kids for both subjects compared to $320 per month for both of them for just one subject. And I'm so happy that the bank approved our car loan application. So when the new cars arrive end of May, early June, hopefully we'll be able to draw down on that loan and replace this very reliable Honda Accord with a brand new electric vehicle that has more updated technology, more airbags, and hopefully safer features. So that's today's life update and dumbphone update. So far, so good. You know how previously I've been saying that I'm happy, that I find it a personal win every time I look or listen to something else and be anywhere else online other than on YouTube, which I have mixed feelings for. I really love YouTube for certain reasons, but I cannot live on there. But also on Instagram and Facebook. So today, instead of watching YouTube video after YouTube video, I went on one of the courses that I purchased and listened to the first 3 videos. Even though I wasn't able to implement anything because the time that I have at home is very little compared to the time that I spend at work. I'm glad that I was able to be somewhere else online and I'm actually learning something useful that I know I'll eventually have to apply, other than just be sold to or feel mad or sad about something that I read that I can't do anything about. And if I just put in all of my listening hours, not even watching, just listening, because you know how I just listen to most of the things that I play instead of watching them because I'm doing chores while listening. If I just listened to the courses that I bought more than the time I spend on YouTube, because there honestly isn't anything new for me to learn that I can just cram into my head. I need to act on what I know now. If I just spend that attention and that energy absorbing the information from the courses that I paid for, then I starve the billionaires of one less pair of eyeballs, one less wallet, one less mind to be brainwashed by their propaganda and think tanks. So it's not only a personal improvement win, it's also a political decision. And it's good for me on all levels to just go online in order to learn and get out of there as soon as I've learned what I need to learn. I believe community is good too, but I'm nowhere near being a big creator and having that anyway. So community isn't one of my reasons right now for being on YouTube more than I should. And even in community, I believe in balancing individual personal time with being in the midst of other people, especially for introverts and highly sensitive people like me. And just like that, here we are again. This is day 13 or 14 of my dumbphone challenge, and thank you so much for listening.